Hey planty people! When you water your plants, do you pour water over the top or soak the pots from the bottom? Bottom watering is good, and it's one way to avoid fungus gnats, but it won't work for every plant. Bottom watering is great for any plant that's in a fine potting mix made up of small particles, because the soil will absorb moisture even if it's above the water line of the bowl or sink they're in. Most commercial mixes are fairly fine, and the ones made for ferns and African violets are very fine because they're made with mostly peat. It's kind of like putting a corner of a dish towel in a bowl of water. If you leave it there long enough, eventually the towel will wick up all the water even if the whole thing isn't in the bowl. If you put a plant in fine soil in a tray with a few inches of water, it will absorb all the water in the tray. Some plants, like Peperomia string of turtles and Pilea baby tears, even prefer it since their tiny leaves can hold water for too long and start to rot. But chunky potting mixes, like the ones made for orchids and aroids, are made up of mostly bark, coco coir, and perlite with just a little bit of peat. If you bottom water a plant in a chunky mix, it will only get the soil wet up to the water line because bark isn't as absorbent as peat, and the water can't make its way all the way up to the top of the pot. That would be like sticking a chopstick in a bowl of water. No matter how long it soaks for, the top will still be dry. If you're bottom watering a Monstera deliciosa in a pot that stands a foot high, the only way all the roots will get watered is if the water is a foot deep. If it's in a bowl or tray that only holds a couple of inches of water, the bottom of the soil will be wet, but the roots that are higher in the pot will still be thirsty. The most efficient way to water plants in chunky soil is over the top, making sure to fully saturate the soil and letting it drain. So, there's your quick tip. Bottom watering is great, but it's not for every plant. What plants do you bottom water? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.
Quick tips.